You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. I want to know what love is. Hey, guys.
What's up, brother? What's up?
Truly Unruly. Oh, audience, can we give a big round of applause for Dylan? He's been hella sick with cooties, and he's finally back with us.
Welcome back, Dylan. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Dylan. You're 10 pounds lighter, but you are only 20 to begin with.
Stretch, right.
And actually, can you pass me some of that so I can lose 10 pounds? Okay.
Trufant, how was you guys this week?
Week's been good.
Yeah, it's been good. It was better than last week. So,
Week's
progress.
Been productive, so that's good.
Hey, so I know on this show, we always talk about, like, you know, wanting to keep the family unit together and save the family unit and things like that. And, you know, we never like talking divorce. But this episode,
the D word.
You know what? Sometimes shit don't work. And you got to divorce that mofo. So when to divorce and signs you need to get out. Now, I wanted to ask you guys this. This is my first question, because every time I have ever spoke to someone that was in an unhappy marriage and the idea of divorce gets on the table, they always say this: well, I don't want to get divorced because I want to stay together for the kids. Now, what do you guys think about that? Because I personally think that's kind of bullshit, but I don't know. What's your guys' take on that?
That's bullshit. And in many cases, it can do more harm than help. It depends on why you want a divorce in the first place. If you have a volatile relationship and you're just staying together for the kids, I don't know. That's like, it's almost, well, I wouldn't call it selfish, because I don't even think they realize that they're being selfish. But if you really want to protect your kids and you guys are in a fucked up relationship, divorce.
I'm kind of on the other side of that, Kel.
Really?
I think it could be just like you said, it could do more harm, but it's a knee-jerk reaction type thing. And you love my knee-jerk references. But
how many knees can jerk?
It's use jerk. Use a jerk.
Shit.
Sorry, this is supposed to be a serious conversation,
okay, yes.
right? The kids are important. So when the D word comes in, you have to think about everybody. So I think that's what the parents are trying to navigate. And like you said, it depends on where they're at and how the breakup is happening. But if they're able to communicate and talk through this, okay, I'm just falling out of love with you, but I don't like this relationship anymore, but we got kids, we got all this stuff going on. How do we navigate that? And maybe we'll take our time and we'll still be together for a number of years. Or there's some people that hide it. They're separated or whatever, living two separate lives, but they're not together and they just kind of want to show the kids and keep the kids happy, because there's trauma involved in everything.
You can do that separated as well. It doesn't take living under the same roof to show your kids that you guys are a united front and that they love the kids. Kids are resilient, right? It might be hard in the beginning, but they get over it and they move on and they will understand. No?
Well,
yeah.
I'm saying it's 2022, right? So
right.
Can that happen? Because, you know, some of us seen our grandparents as they got older, they were in two separate rooms, right?
Well,
can that be a thing now? Okay, we want to get a divorce, but we really don't want to because we want to keep the family unit together. We're going to live separately, but we're going to be together.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as there's a clear understanding and they're honest with their kids. Like, we're not together. Don't go to school. Mommy and daddy are married, because legally we're not.
But maybe legally they are, but they're living
you can do a legal separation and not be divorced. So,
Okay. Have you been doing research or what? I don't know that. I didn't know.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say that on camera. Not us, but somebody very near and dear to my heart. Anyways, it can be done that way. And I know I am sure a lot of families operate that way because we are in 2022 and everything looks different now as far as families and what they're supposed to look like and all this kind of stuff. So if you want to cohabitate, as long as you are in
a
healthy
cohabitation,
amicable relationship, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you're in a fucked up relationship and in your mind, oh God, the kids, no, that's you. I don't even know if it's necessarily for the kids, and you might not even realize it. It could be for you because people stay together for financial purposes as well.
Yep, we've talked about that before for sure. I just think too, it's a little confusing for the kids. It's like, if you're in this environment where, kids pick up on shit, even you may have this united front, but like, they're going to know mom ain't happy or dad isn't happy. And do you guys think too, like you guys said something too about like, Marcus, you said about like, seeing like folks' grandparents and stuff when they get to a certain age, like, being separate bedrooms. I've always thought of this and like, I've gotten mixed reactions when I've asked this to people, but like, do you think it's a good idea when you get to like, I don't know, that like 25-year mark, or let's say when your kids are like all grown and out the house, that's when you have a sit down and possibly think about like renegotiating the contract
of marriage?
Yeah. I'm dead ass. Like when you get to that 25, 30 year, like, and it's like, all right, like we've been together for a long time and we're kind of at a place where, we're just kind of putting up with each other. Granted, people that have been together that long, I know there's that companionship factor. So like a lot of people don't want to lose that companionship, especially if they've been with, their best friend, quote unquote, loosely for 30, 40 years.
Right.
But like, do you think for some people that might be a good idea to just like, hey, let's renegotiate this because this isn't the same way it was when we first got married, or I don't feel the same way, or you may not feel the same way we felt when we first got married 25, 30 years ago.
Right. I don't even think you have to like say, okay, we're going to renegotiate this. I think after kids leave and go to college, I think that's when you don't even need to sit down and have a conversation about it. Well, I guess eventually you do, but you both realize, God damn, I don't have anything in common with this guy. I don't even like this guy. We stayed together for the kids. And it was successful. Let's just say it just worked out. Kids went off to college and they separate. I think that happens a lot.
It does.
A lot.
Yeah, especially nowadays. But what I would say to that, I personally would not want to do that. The renegotiation, is cool, but there should be some red flags along the way, right? Why
Absolutely.
Wait until the kids leave, until it's just you and your lady after 25 years and you guys have wasted all this good time, right? If things aren't right, talk about it. I mean, in my mind.
But you said it just works.
What if though, let's say the kids just moved out and now I realize,
okay,
I don't even really like this person anymore, or I like them, but the feeling might not be the same.
Or I like them and I'm not really sure if she likes me, type of thing, or vice versa. Right?
Yeah, like something like that.
Though.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's been there all along. You don't just all of a sudden.
But no, you realize it though because the hectic life of kids and everything that it's like this. Kids have left, right? So now everything has slowed down, right? And now you're actually able to catch up with your life, your thoughts, your beliefs, because everything was about and for your kids and family, right? So then you start thinking for self for a second, and it's like, damn, like I'm really now thinking I have a chance to really reflect and think about this. Like, and it's really quiet in this house. So it's like, do I still want to be here?
Right. Or is it like, am I going to go, Stella, go get your groove back type shit? But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I do.
I would just say the other side of that is, do I really want to be here? Do I want to Stella get a groove back, or do I want to start over, or am I at a place to where, things are different, but we need to have a conversation. We need to be able to adjust. I think is the biggest thing, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So there is a lot of older people I see on social media, and that's real life right now. And everything you see on social media is real, but people split up at an older age, and I, for one, can't really understand it. I come from, my parents was together for 40 years, you know what I'm saying? So how does that look? How does that feel? You're with somebody for so long, but then it's like, okay, things are different and I can't stand you anymore. I can't stand to live with you.
Well, I think the older people that are divorcing now, they're from a different generation. They were probably together because they had kids and that was the thing to do, but it's a new time and everybody's chasing self-happiness. And so people will split much earlier now. Seriously, divorce is like, woohoo, okay, let's divorce, right? It's just a piece of fucking paper. But back in the day, I think it was conducive for both of them and benefited everybody. So they stayed together. And then as they got older, they're like, you know what? I didn't like you 30 years ago.
And I just want to be happy, right? I just want to be happy. And that's whatever it takes. If I got to leave my love or my so-called love or my companion of 30, 40 years, that's what I'm going to do.
And I think I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think it might be like mutual almost when you're older, right? Because you're getting ready to die anyway. So you might as well sorry.
You got morbid on us. Jesus.
So you might as well just ride this shit out. But I think it's a mutual thing at that point. Like, yeah, you know what? I don't really like you either.
Do you guys think that, especially, I guess, our generation and the time we've grown up, and we're all at an age where we're starting to see a lot of our friends get divorced. When you get to that certain, you see all the weddings, and all of a sudden you see all the weddings and all the kids, and all of a sudden all the divorces, and now everyone's getting divorced. Do you feel like we've witnessed more divorces in our life, in our generation, than we have happy marriages? I've always wondered that. I feel like, I guess that's each individual person's experience, I guess. But like, I feel like I've just, I don't know, maybe because I just noticed it more because of my own parents being divorced. But like, I have just witnessed so many divorces, and then a lot of friends who have been married, they'll be married for like a year. I remember one guy, I was the best man in his wedding, and he was married for not even like a full year, and then just got like divorced. And it's just, I don't know. There's just so many divorces.
Yeah, that's tough.
Was it a big wedding?
It was a nice wedding, and here's the thing. I know of a really big wedding that my mom went to that she was like, such and such and such and such. I was like, yeah. She goes, they got divorced. I was like, what? They had like a $200,000 wedding. She's like, yeah. And it wasn't even like a full, it might've been like 10 months.
There's a lot of factors that come in, but what I would say is that just like everything, bad news is going to travel a little further than good news, right? So maybe the divorces of our peers are like, oh, damn, okay. My dude just got divorced. That's tough, but we don't even really pay any mind to all our friends that are still together and they're happy. They got the kids, or they're just still together. I guess you don't have to be happy anymore. As long as you're together, that's seen as good, right? But I would say, Kale,
it's about being happy.
I know,
now.
but just like we said earlier, people stay together just to stay together, right? Because it's the status quo. It's the thing to do.
So miserable.
So,
though.
Right.
I would say no, that for me, more people are married or still together. There has been some divorces, but I know I'm on the other side of that.
Right.
That's good.
I don't know. I know very few people that divorced when I was growing up. I don't really remember any of that. But I know it happens, and I know now since it's such a socially accepted thing that people that are in bad marriages, they can get out of them because it is okay to divorce. So,
right. But I've seen though too, a lot of people, and I didn't want to be the one to stick my nose in their business, but I've seen a lot of people where I'm like, you two shouldn't get married. I know this isn't going to work. Like, there's been a lot of that. And I'm like, what are you doing? And especially like the people, like, I don't know if you guys had these friends, but did you ever know those people that like got married like right out of high school? And it's like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? And then they've been together for how long? And now like they fucking hate each other. And now, and like, or like the woman wants to leave, but like the dude, like she took the dude's virginity. So he like still like stalks her. Like, this is a real story. I'm not saying names, but like he like stalks her and like just weirdo shit because he's never been with nobody else, so he doesn't know anything different. Like I've seen weirdos like that too, you know.
And you know what, Kel? To your point, some people get married and they seem like they're terribly unhappy. They bicker, they fight, but
it works for
there's
them.
couples that kind of get off on that, right? That's kind of their
It's
thing.
So toxic though.
Yes, it is, and then it's the makeup, and then it's a high, and then they have the lows, and they kind of live in that, and they really enjoy that.
That's unhealthy.
Okay.
It's unhealthy. Yeah, and there is something wrong
That is bipolar.
with that.
Yeah.
Definitely something wrong.
I mean, but we all know those people though that have been in those relations, just people, just individuals in general that are like, you shouldn't get married. You're not the type to get married. You're not the marriage type. You ain't marriage material. This shit ain't for everybody.
Who is marriage material until you get married though? Isn't there?
Oh, what you mean? What is marriage material?
No, I'm saying, I know for guys, we sometimes don't know and we act like we're ready and maybe we're not. But until you get married, you can say you're ready, but you don't know until you know. Or until you're in that situation is what I mean.
Yeah, but some niggas, Marcus, are just not built.
They're not
for
built
just
for
commitment.
Marriage. Yeah,
they're just not built for commitment in general. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you couldn't commit to a girlfriend, let alone you think you're gonna be able to commit to a wife.
Well, they think they're ready and they're not.
And they're not.
Don't you think the girl kind of knows that too? The spouse to be knows her guy enough to know his energy. I mean, where he's at.
Yeah, but the problem with the girl is that the girl thinks she can fix him because she thinks that she's going to be the special one. Well, with me, he's different.
He thinks the same thing too. As soon as I get married, I'm about to turn it on and things are going to be perfect.
To be over. And then you get married and you realize it's pretty much the same thing, except for you really actually are supposed to be committed. And you're like, I fucked up.
Yeah. Okay, so signs that you need to get out. Let's just blow through these real quick. So one of them is excessive negative interactions. So I guess there's this magic ratio that is like in any happy relationship, right? There should be 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. When divorces,
funny.
You said what?
I said that's funny.
Who made this up?
5-to-1 ratio.
Right.
I'm gonna start keeping track of that.
God damn it!
You should. You really should. She'd be
am.
I didn't get enough positive interactions with my wife today.
But what is a positive what constitutes a positive interaction? Like, what is it? We're under high fucking stress every day, all day with these kids.
Here, let me read this whole thing to you and maybe it'll explain it a little better, Jess. Okay. You know when to divorce partially by weighing your positive interactions against the negative ones. This advice contradicts the popular misconception that small arguments are insignificant as indicators of marital problems. If you find out you are having significantly more negative interactions with your partner than positive interactions, it may be a sign that you need divorce.
Well, small problems turn into big problems when they're not dealt with. So,
like I always say, it goes back to communication. If you're not speaking up about these problems, if you're not letting your spouse know, because sometimes we just don't know, right? I'm doing something and it's really getting under your skin, or it's really bothering you. Tell me. It give me the opportunity to correct it.
Right. Closed mouths don't stay married.
But yeah, but being in a negative space all the time, I can see that. That can be wearing, that could be, you could feel like you're drowning, and that could be a bad situation.
So we will count. Ding, 1, ding, 2.
So, okay. So then the next one, which also goes with that, is argument severity, right? So even the magic ratio has limitations. The existence of positive interactions, then negative ones, should not be taken as proof that you don't need a divorce. Very severe and harmful arguments are one of the most crucial signs to get a divorce. Many couples do not know when to divorce and stay in unhealthy relationships because they rarely argue, ignoring the fact that those arguments are filled with hurtful and abusive behaviors.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't have to argue that much, but every time we do argue, you tell me I'm a bitch and a piece of shit.
Hitting below the belt.
It's a buildup.
I know,
it
but
is.
I believe you got to fight fair. If you're going to fight, you got to fight fair. You have to fight with honor.
Fair.
You got to fight respectfully.
What the fuck is this? Are you going to war? What are you talking about?
Yes, it is pretty much war. But there's a code there, or I believe so. A married couple is going to argue. Yeah, but you don't, or you try not to cut below the belt, because that's when it gets ugly.
I think we already talked about this. I don't fight fair.
Well, if you don't fight fair, you got to be
not all the time
prepared for the unfairness to come back. And that's when it could get nasty, and the negative interactions.
Well, I think it's a red flag when you don't argue. That's fucking weird.
To argue nasty, though?
Not nasty.
That's
but
what I'm
just
saying, though.
In general,
arguing is cool. Yeah,
you're supposed to argue.
You learn from your disagreements, but you got to do it fair.
Or
you can't put the other one down, right?
If you don't, then that's when.
But you're right. There is a way to argue. If you're arguing, bitch, excuse me?
Some people like that, though. Some people, that's
who likes to be called
I don't know,
bitch?
But I'm just saying that some people have those highs and lows. And we talked about the bipolar type of relationship.
Off of it because they know, she knows, or he knows that, okay, later we're about to make up. So let's continue this unhealthy cycle. But it's unhealthy, and it's unfortunate that people don't realize how unhealthy it is, because if you have kids, your kids are watching, and they do adopt those same behaviors, and they will have the same problem in their relationships. And you'll look back as a parent and be like, what the fuck? I did that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that in front of my kid. So, yeah.
Right. The next one, I mean, this one goes without saying, unfaithfulness.
Yeah.
One of the most crucial indicators to when to get a divorce is when one or both partners have gone outside the marriage to pursue another relationship. While some couples manage to recover from the pain that an affair causes, others take it as validation that they need to end it. Even after a major issue such as an affair, knowing when to divorce is still largely a matter of timing. I think we can all agree on that.
Right. Well, people stay together for all types of reasons, right? And this is more of an old school thing, just like we talked about earlier. People would stay together even if they knew the spouse was stepping out because of the kids, because of the family, because of trying to keep it together. I don't want, the people at the church to look down on us and all that kind of stuff. Or at my job, or just being embarrassed in general. So we're going to try to patch this up and make it work. Even though all that resentment, all that hate, all that hurt is still there, then eventually you'll probably get divorced anyway.
Right. But that's the key, is the forgiveness, the healing, the cheater on their part, what they do to reconcile and to remedy the situation and to bring it back together. I think those are huge factors. If you're cheating or you cheat and you're like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna cheat anymore. So it's good. And you're not doing anything to show remorse, to work on yourself, to grow, then
It's time to go.
It's time.
But the writing's on the wall anyway. If you're stepping out, you're cheating. There's something going on in the first place, or at least I believe so.
Why do you need to step out and cheat?
So the next one, and I'm interested about this one about you guys. Irreconcilable anger. There are times when the pain and anger of a relationship can push a good person to the point where they fear they will do something that they will regret. Have either one of you ever at any point in your relationship or marriage was just so angry that you're like, I'm going to do something, but I need to stop myself before I do something that I will regret for the rest of my life?
Why'd you look at me first?
Well, the thing is he has done something when he got so angry, which is not very often. But there was alcohol involved, though. That was when you smeared chicken wings on my
on your windshield.
On my windshield.
Yeah.
Anyways,
good chicken too. I wasted some good chicken. I was pissed off.
And I found a wing underneath the hood 6 months later.
Anger, being in a position of anger, or your spouse consistently puts you in a space to where you can't control yourself, or you're feeling like you're being pushed to the edge. Just like you said, Kel, you can hurt yourself, you could hurt them. It's definitely a red flag. And not even so much time to go, but to communicate that, seek help, seek a third party. Again, there is, men and females that poke buttons. They know what's going to really get to their spouse if they really want to, if they're feeling in a way.
Don't fight fair.
That's ugly. Again, that's not fighting fair. I don't think that's a good look. I don't play that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to hit below the belt and do all that and send somebody through the roof. And then, I got to be on defense. I got to have my hands up. I don't know if I'm going to get a knife to my throat while I'm asleep and all this kind of stuff. So you got to be chill, and that's not a good position to be in. Simple.
Okay, the last one is abuse. We all agree with this, right? There's never an excuse for physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. Never, ever. And yes, you can sexually abuse your spouse, so don't do it. A marriage license is a contract between two people to make a home, not a certificate of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
If you're being abused, you do not need to feel bad about leaving. You do not need to feel bad about your spouse not seeing the kids. Someone who abuses someone that made a commitment to love and cherish them deserves the pain they feel.
Absolutely. And at that point, you do need to think about yourself, because you cannot be your best self for your kids and all that kind of stuff if you're trapped in being abused. So you do need to think about yourself and your happiness and your mental health. Run.
There's trauma involved in that. You talk about doing stuff for the kids. If the kids, just like we said, are paying attention, they see everything. So there's trauma involved in that for the kids. There's trauma involved for the spouse that's involved in that. So it's time to move on.
My last one, my honorable mention, is emotional exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion is often the final sign that you need a divorce. When you go through marriage counseling, apply all the techniques to your relationship, and if you still feel drained, a divorce can be the only way to salvage your emotional health. Do you think you can get over that, emotional exhaustion? Do you think that's one of those things that that can be fixed? Unless you're with someone that is just extremely brooding and toxic, that's just a draining buzzkill. But I feel like,
damn,
I don't know.
Well, it's if the love was there in the beginning, or if you're still in love with that person, because that's a huge thing. There's a difference between I love you and being in love with that person. So I think you can fix emotional exhaustion if you still love the person. If you don't, no, you cannot fix that shit.
I think it's got to be a timing thing. Too long in a headlock, you die, right? You get choked out and you can't breathe. So if you're going through this and you've been going through it for some time and you're not speaking up about it, again, you're not telling the person that is putting you through this trauma that, okay, I'm uncomfortable, I'm unhappy, something needs to change, or I can't do this anymore. That's, I think, where the issue is. So I think it's a timing thing. I don't think being in a draining relationship for a long period of time can be sustainable.
Life is too short, and it's already fucked up in this country. Add kids to it. It's really fucked up.
It's going to push you to do all the things that you're going to get a divorce
You need
anyway.
to be happy.
If you're drained and you don't got no happiness and everything's negative, and you're going to start looking around, and this makes me happy. Okay, I'm going to the library. I'm going to the grocery store to get my groceries, and a man asked about my groceries, and I said, yeah. Then I continue to talk to this man. I see him on a regular basis. Little things are going to start to creep in if you're exhausted.
Well, this was a good episode. The first time we've actually gotten in depth about divorce.
Hey.
Yeah, which we don't know anything about. Yeah.
I know. Good. And you guys don't want to know anything about it because
no, we're for
everyone
lifers.
I know that's gone through it, it sucks.
And we're willing to work.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not always perfect, but we talk and we communicate.
Well, we love each other. We're in love with each other. It's like it's there. So it's like, I don't know. How can you go wrong?
Truly Unruly, Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Of course, follow Marcus_Trufant on Instagram. Follow Jessica_Trufant. I'm no IG Kel because I'm still hacked, so I have no fucking Instagram account.
Free Kel.
Stupid.
Free Kel.
You can email. You can email me. You can listen. You can email me at but follow the page.
You don't got a Facebook, Kel?
Jesus
Facebook?
Christ.
I don't be on Facebook like that. I don't be on Facebook. Facebook's nothing but
I
old
am
people
inactive
anyway
on
that
for
complain.
years.
So I stay away from Facebook.
Hey, I'm old. I'm on Facebook. Shit.
Why?
Sometimes.
That's
I'm not
weird.
really, but
You 40-year-old guys,
I
man.
know. Damn it.
So follow the page, Truly Unruly _podcast. If you can listen to us on your favorite streaming channels, so Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we're on it. Of course, subscribe, like the podcast. Please leave a review. That would help us out a lot. You can catch the visual on YouTube and subscribe to Marcus Trufant on YouTube. Catch us every Sunday on Converge, and I think that is it.
Yep.
Cool. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace and love.